Just watch the panicking, privileged, populist Piers Morgan ranting again on his morning show. I've watched him for the last couple of weeks as the livelihoods of the British people, the lives of the British people, and now the liberty of the British people have been threatened. And they've been threatened because the little set that Piers belongs to, and I don't know what Piers thinks about open borders, but I can guess if you'd have asked him a few years ago if he thought open borders were a good idea, he'd have probably said yes, I don't know. He was the editor of a very left-leaning newspaper for many years. We know what he was like when he was in America, ranting on about gun control. And now, and we know he was against Brexit until obviously the vote went for Brexit, and then to be fair to him, he actually took a stand where he said he wanted to support Brexit happening because it was democratic and he was a Democrat. Well, he's not behaving like a Democrat now. And he can rant on and call people idiots and insult the British population and the British people. But I want to tell you something. Boris Johnson has got it absolutely right when it comes to locking people up in their homes, in not doing it. And if he goes for a full lockdown, he's going to make a catastrophic mistake. The full lockdown has not worked in Italy. It has not worked in Spain. The problems that we have on continental Europe are a direct result of open borders. The problems we have in the United Kingdom and in Northern Ireland and in the Republic of Ireland are an absolute result of open borders. When this first happened in January, and I don't believe for 1 minute that people in the Foreign Office and in MI6 didn't know what was happening in China. If they didn't, they weren't doing their job properly. As soon as that happened, with the intelligence that they would have got, they should have closed down the borders and they should have stopped people coming from China to the West. And immediately that there was a problem in Italy, the flights should have been banned from Italy. As far as I know, there are still flights coming in from China. There are still flights coming in from Italy. There are still flights coming in from Spain. Why aren't you talking about that, Piers Morgan? Maybe you have been and maybe I've missed it. But what you want to do is restrict people's liberties. And you and all the media elite who were absolutely crowing about how great open borders were and how great it was that we were a global village, now want to lock people in the houses. You've gone from being free movement, open border fanatics to being completely totalitarian. Now let's get some balance in this. And first of all, the media need to stop panicking the public. And the reason that people are panic buying, and I have deliberately avoided panic buying because for me it's a moral issue. It's wrong to stuff your trolley with stuff when there's little old grannies that are going to be getting into difficulties. There's health workers, there's frontline workers. Panic buying is totally wrong and people shouldn't be doing it. But one of the reasons that people are doing it, and stupidly in my mind, but one of the reasons that people are doing it is because of the media. Because the media are panicking people. I think panic buying, as I said in other videos, is one of the most un-British things that people can do. But Piers Morgan, you need to get a grip. If you start locking people in their homes, their mental health will be affected. And don't come this sort of arrogant, condescending attitude that people need to man up. I'm in a group that swims in the sea every single day. And the reason that group goes and swims in the sea every day, it was set up by policemen, and there's ex-soldiers in the group, people who served their country, who'd fought against terrorists, fought in real wars, many of them with PTSD, and it is a mental health lifeline for them. And I mean a lifeline. These are men and women who have suffered with mental health, and this is their way of coping. Now, if they go into lockdown and they can't gather, and I'm part of the group, we've been social distancing, we've been keeping our distance, even when we're in the sea. If those people cannot stay part of that group because they're locked in their homes, their mental health will suffer and their lives will be put at risk, Piers. If people can't get out even for a walk without risk of getting their collar felt, that is completely totalitarian. What they've got to do, what people have got to do, and what you've got to tell people to do, Piers, not lock them all up, What you've got to tell them to do is be responsible and social distance. That's all we've got to do. Stay if 2 meters isn't enough for you, stay 3 or 4 meters apart. I'm staying well away from people when I'm out. When I go out walking, I don't want to infect anyone. If I've got the virus, I don't know if I'm a carrier or not. I don't want to infect anyone. But patronising, insulting people, Piers, is totally unacceptable. And we know there are not just mental health benefits, there are immune system benefits from people getting outside in the fresh air. It can boost your immunity. It can help you fight off viruses. The more positive you are on a beautiful sunny day like that, do you think you want to be locked in a house? Do you think you want your house to be turned into a prison cell? Ridiculous. And the media and the media elite, the very people who want free movement of people at all other times, are quite happy to lock the whole population into isolation. It is a complete attack on liberty, but also it's going to be counterproductive. It hasn't worked in Italy, it hasn't worked in Spain, and it won't work in the United Kingdom. And there aren't enough policemen to police it. And Piers, the thing is, I'm speculating, and I'm only speculating, but I'm guessing that you live in a prosperous area of the country. I'm guessing. You're a multimillionaire. No doubt you've been jet set and you've travelled to all these countries, and once this is over, you'll want that to start happening again. Let's see how that goes, because you can be sure that there's going to be more viruses coming. You can be sure that this virus is going to come back. I think it should change everything in terms of international travel. I, for one, will not be jumping on aeroplanes and flying all the way around the world anymore. Ain't going to happen. But Piers, I want to ask you a question. How big's your garden? Maybe you live in a flat in London, I don't know. I'm guessing you live in a nice house somewhere. Possibly in a village, possibly out in the country. Maybe you've got an acre around your house, I don't know. It's going to be a lot easier for you where you live. It's going to be a lot easier for you and your family than it is for the lonely veteran. And I'm thinking specifically of friends of mine, veterans who are on hard times, who struggle with PTSD and mental health, and their only lifeline was maybe going to the gym. Their only lifeline was maybe going swimming in the sea. Their only lifeline was maybe getting on a bike and riding as fast as they could. You want to take that away from those people. You want to take the ability to treat their own mental health off veterans by locking them in their homes and criminalising them if they go outside their homes. Piers, you need to stop panicking and you need to get a grip, fella, because you're behaving like a hysterical little bitch. Sort yourself out and stop trying to take away our liberties. Of course we should social distance. Of course this is serious. I've been saying how serious it is in all the videos that I've been doing about this. It's terrible what's happening. And it's a direct result of globalism, and it's a direct result of people in the media elite and the way they have manipulated the media and demonized people that have stood against globalization and against an open border policy for years. Anyway, rant over. Piers Morgan, get a grip of yourself, son.